Hello, everyone who's joined us. Welcome. We'll take a few seconds here to get things started, but I'd like to introduce to you today Leanne Grant from. I'll let her do an extensive introduction for herself, but I'm sure you're going to love her content and what she's got to offer. If you have any questions, please drop them into the chat. I'll be here in the background, ready to help. And thanks for coming today. We always appreciate when people show up and take advantage of our resources. So, with that, Leanne Grant, everyone.
Guys, I'm gonna give you guys just a second, make sure everybody is able to get everything connected, their audio connected, video connected. If you guys at any time want to drop any questions in the chat, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen right now. Can everybody see my screen? And now I have to move you guys because you moved on my screen. So now I have to move you over here. Let's move you over here. Okay. So let's admit more people to our room. I love more people joining. Okay. Like he said, my name is Leanne Grant and I'm with CodeHS. And thank you guys so much for coming today. I'm also welcome because I'm also on the IDEA governing board. And so I love doing these Wednesday webinars anyway. So today we're going to be talking about AI, but we're specifically going to be talking about critical thinking and AI. If you wanted to watch the slides as we're going or flip through the slides as we're going, let me go ahead and drop those. If you can't access those slides, let me know. Everybody should have access to the chat. Is that correct? I think so. I think we got the settings correct there. Okay, so critical thinking and AI. So when we think about critical thinking and AI, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is understanding AI and its implications, first of all. So we need to understand what AI is and maybe the implications for the future. And then we're going to talk about critical thinking and how to evaluate AI content. And we're going to talk about some strategies to teach critical thinking in the AI area. And then we're going to do some conclusions and some next steps. Before I get going, though, I do want to tell you guys that I am in Central Illinois. And looking outside right now, I don't know where everybody else is located, but Central Illinois is about to get hit and is getting hit with some very severe weather. And so in the case that we have to end this webinar early, what will happen is that we will, if I have to end this early, only if there's inclement weather. That's the only time that I will end up, and I will let you guys know. I will end up recording this full session. Even if I have to restart it, I will record the full session and then we will send this out to everybody at a later date. So within the next week or so, you guys will get or within the next 2 weeks, you will get a full recording of this session from me through IDEA to everybody who registered and everybody who attended. So it's not like we're just going to cut you off and you're not going to get the information. But I did want to be completely transparent. While the sun is out right now, there is completely black clouds coming this way, and part of my county is in a tornado warning. And so I'm going to keep watching my phone. And I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. So I will let you guys know if I have to very abruptly kind of log off. So I will absolutely be safe. Okay. I'm kind of watching outside. So, all right, let's get back to AI and get this started, because this is some amazing material and things to think about when it comes to our students. So we're going to kind of skip over that. So now I am from CodeHS. And so what CodeHS is we're a curriculum company that offers content that is computer science, that is AI, that is a lot of different things from K through 12. And it's all computer science curriculum. It's all web-based. It's all on the computer. And we do have some AI content as well. And everything is free for you to sign up. And so I wanted to go back a slide for you. If you do want to sign up as a teacher, I'm going to do this link here for you in the chat. You do not have to sign up. It's just there if you absolutely want to. It's not required as part of this. It's just something that we offer. You can sign up for free as a teacher. All of our curriculum is free for you to be able to use. You would sign up as a teacher using your teacher account. The reason you use your teacher account is that we manually verify that you are a teacher and not a student trying to get like the solution code to some of our stuff. And so what we offer is a very comprehensive platform for teaching computer science. We do middle school, we do high school, and we also have elementary content as well. All right, and we offer professional development. We have a full platform of teacher tools and resources for teachers and students. Like I said, it is a complete comprehensive software platform. We have instant feedback. And this is my plug for my company, extensive grade book, tracking tools for teachers. It is completely web-based. There's no additional downloads or plugins needed for the majority of our courses. Now we do have a couple game-based courses such as Roblox and game design in Unity, where you do have to have a couple outside things that you do have to download, but those are very few and far between. I think there's 2 or 3 out of all of our courses that we have. So if you are interested, you can go to that link. All right, so our goals for this session. We're going to explore and we're going to predict how AI technologies might evolve in the future, and specifically in education. That is very, very difficult to do. How many of you thought that you would be using AI in education a year ago? Raise of hands on the Zoom. Probably none. We're also going to try to consider the potential cultural and societal impacts. And we're going to try to build and to prepare students to anticipate and to navigate these changes critically in the future. And that's what we're kind of really thinking about, is getting students to think critically. So students think critically in a lot of different subjects. And when we think about critical thinking, we're thinking about students taking content. And we've always wanted them to take content, and we want them to take a source and be able to determine whether it is a plausible source, whether it is something that they can realistically use, whether it is a good author, whether it is something that they should use. Well, should they use it from AI? That's what they should be using critical thinking to use as well, because not everything that AI gives back to them is going to be usable. And that's where they need to be able to think on that as well. So let's talk a little bit about critical thinking. So a little bit of word about critical thinking is really thinking about, this is like a learning chart or a pyramid, about originally like blooms and expanding out. And we gather more research about learning and think about the pyramid. Okay, so we start with knowledge and we move up to comprehension, we move up to application, analysis, and synthesis, and evaluation. Where do we want students to be? And each of these levels and each of these blocks can be a stumbling block, honestly. And however, what we do with these charts often fail to capture what we're going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to challenge you all as educators to remember is that the upper bounds of this chart, of these models, often require significant time investment. Okay, this is where I'm going with this. And it's often on an ongoing basis, and that's kind of how I did this circle here. Okay, it's an ongoing cyclic process. I can't say that. Let's just say it's an ongoing process. Okay, it's continuous, and we need to instill this in our students, that when they are thinking and when they're evaluating and when they are when they're using AI, it's not going to be done once. It's an iterative process. It's going to happen often. Okay. So I think it's really, really the first strategy that we need to be building with our students is that their critical thinking skills, no AI model can even come close to mimicking critical thinking skills. Even though AI is supposed to be based on human thinking, AI cannot mimic critical thinking skills. And so AI is supposed to be, analysis and synthesis and everything, but it only can do it one time. So because critical thinking it involves this continuous, you have to have that AI and you have to have that student. Okay, that critical thinking of that student, that human aspect of it as well. And I hope I explained that well. If you guys have any questions, do you guys have access to the chat? Oops. Because if you guys have any questions, let me know. Sean, do you know if they have access to the chat?
Everyone should.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. All right, I hope I explained that well because I don't know if I explained that well. Let's move on and we're going to explore and predict now how AI technologies might evolve in the future, specifically in education a little bit. And so first we need to think about the definition of AI. Okay. So AI refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think and learn and perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, right? And this includes that capability of reasoning and problem solving and understanding natural language and recognizing patterns and making decisions. So if I say all that, what's the difference between critical thinking? Well, AI systems can process vast amounts of data, right? And they can identify trends and they can adapt their actions based on new information and they continuously improve performance over time. And the technology encompasses various fields like machine learning and algorithms from data and natural language processing, and it enables machines to understand and respond to human language and computer vision and allowing machines to interpret visual information. It also enhances personal learning. AI tailors educational experiences and it helps to meet unique needs of each student. It helps to analyze individual learning styles and progress and performances. AI systems can customize lesson plans and provide targeted resources and adjust the pace of instruction. And it can ensure students receive appropriate levels of challenge and support and enhance their learning and outcomes and engagement, right? It can also automate, let's say, administrative tasks. And we can streamline things like we can free up things like administrative tasks so you can, as teachers, can focus more on the students. So it can do grading, you can do attendance and scheduling and things like that. It can provide feedback. It could do reducing like your workload as teachers. And it also can do data analysis. It can analyze large amounts of educational data to uncover patterns and trends that may not be immediately apparent to a teacher. And the data-driven approach helps educators make informed decisions about instructional strategies and interventions. And AI can help identify at-risk students by doing that too. It can highlight areas where students are struggling or suggest improvements in curriculum and design. But by leveraging those insights, schools then can improve their overall educational effectiveness. So it can do a lot. And all of this is moving even forward in education. Show you this video. This is what I was talking about as far as maybe what it can do as far as administrative tasks for you. Ooh, and I'm hoping when I shared, I actually might have to unshare just for a second. Let me do this. Share sound. I apologize. Let's do this one more time. Oh, it's making me put in my password. Why? Okay, now I'm gonna play this video for you. Sean, will you let me know if I can hear this? If you guys can hear this?
Yep, we got it.
Hey Google, book a table for 2 at El Cocotero on Tuesday at 7.
All right, just in case that's not available, can I try between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m.?
Sure.
All right, I'll call to book under your name and phone number, and I'll update you in the next 15 minutes. Is that okay?
Perfect, thanks.
El Cocotero, how may I help you?
Hi, I'm the Google Assistant calling to make a reservation for a client. This automated call will be recorded. Can I book a table for Tuesday the 12th?
Okay, cool. And how big is the party?
It's for 2 people.
Great. And when did you say they want to come in?
Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Okay, let me check.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have 7, but we can do 8.
Yeah, 8 p.m. is fine.
Perfect. And can I get their name?
The first name is Anna.
Okay. We'll see Anna Tuesday.
All right, I'm gonna stop that a little early. Okay, but the reason that I showed you that is that's administrative tasks. Imagine as a teacher being able to use AI, Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. Ooh, my Siri is going off on my phone. To understand and respond and use queries and all that in a classroom. What can you use? How could you use this with students? Have any of you ever used Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, and it's going to go off again, to in your classrooms? You guys can drop it in the chat. Somebody said Google. I've never used it in a classroom setting. Quick questions. Okay, that's perfect. Has anybody else used it? I mean, we use it at home, right? We use things like this. Why not use it in the classroom? Right? Okay. So now that we've thought about maybe how we can use them in education, let's get back to the kind of the critical thinking. Okay. So now that we know we're thinking about AI and AI, how AI is transformative, artificial intelligence is revolutionizing education, right? Personalized learning, automating administrative tasks, like I said. Okay, we're integrating AI into technologies in the classroom. We're empowering educators. We need to empower learners alike. How can we do this? Okay, this is where we're going. Critical thinking support from AI tools could be a great aid to a healthy society, but it's still largely untested. So there are a lot of AI tools that have the ability to improve lives that are already used in uses that have in critical thinking. My phone is blowing up. I'm sorry. It's saying that we are in the path of a storm. I just need to check my phone very quickly. I'm so sorry. I want to see where it is.
Don't apologize. We don't want you to get we don't want you getting Dorothy'd right now.
I just want to see where the tornado is specifically. It still looks like it's like 20 miles away, so I'm good. Okay, so in healthcare, Think about AI algorithms and how AI algorithms help analyze medical data to assist in diagnosis and treatment plans already. And they're improving patient outcomes and efficiency in hospitals. We can do that in our heads, right? We could do that, but AI is making it easier. Okay. IBM Watson Health uses AI to help oncologists diagnose and treat cancer. In finance, AI systems are used for fraud detection, risk management, and personalized finance advice. JP Morgan Chase has developed AI systems called COIN, which is called contract intelligence, to analyze legal documents and extract important data points. This AI has significantly reduced the time needed for document review and minimized errors. In education, AI can provide personalized learning experiences like we talked about, okay, and support teachers with data-driven insights. So let's get into the other parts that we were talking about. This is kind of where I was talking a little bit before about the personalized learning, automating administration tasks, and data-driven insights. I kind of got ahead of myself because I knew this slide was coming. So there's been case studies. We have some tools that we use as well. So I'm going to go on from here. All right, and I'm not going to do that demo. So on the map of artificial intelligence, the sun is shining, but the terrain is rocky. However, when we're faced with the first of thinking critically with AI, that we need to be aware of some of the concerns surrounding the use of AI, and this is where the critical thinking comes in. When I was talking earlier about the resources, most of the time when we think about critical thinking, we think about taking something and evaluating. We want students to be able to evaluate and analyze. And so we're going to evaluate AI content. We need to remember there is a concept of garbage in, garbage out. And it's often attributed to George Fuchs, an IBM programmer, garbage in, garbage out. And it highlights the importance of input quality of computing. And we need to understand the limitations of AI. Okay. AI systems are only as good as the data that they are trained on. They can perpetuate bias present in the data, make errors, and they can really lack contextual understanding. We need to be able to question AI outputs. And this is where we teach our students that critical thinking. We need to encourage students to question the accuracy and the reliability, not automatically believe everything that is AI generated. Listening outside. This involves examining the source of data, the algorithms used, and the potential bias. So look at this. This is a model for image recommendation, and this is like a teaching model. So if I was to teach AI that each of these images was a dog, and this was my test model, my test data, AI would then recognize that this was a dog. Are these correct? No, they are cats, right? But AI was taught in this algorithm that these images were dogs. So it's going to recognize that these images that are similar to that are then dogs. So the garbage that was put into it is going to put garbage out. Okay. And this is an excessive model, but it is realistic. And so we need to teach those students to say, hey, you know what? No, that's not correct. So let's look at this in a little bit of a different light. There are a lot of different things that have come about with AI that we were not necessarily aware of before. One of them is image recognition and bias. So there's been a lot of studies done on image recognition. And when I say image recognition, I'm talking about facial recognition. So there's been a lot of studies, and this is just one of them. A graduate student did a research project of facial recognition of 5 different models of a lighter male skin, a lighter female skin, a darker male skin, and a darker female skin. And the difference in the bias of the facial recognition technology. And it was all AI. And what happened was there was less bias or less error when recognizing lighter male and lighter female. But as you can see, even the darker male had less error in some instances than the lighter female, and the darker female had the most error. So there's a lot of bias when it comes into it. Is it on purpose? No. There have been other studies, even one done by code.org, that recognizes facial recognition bias, where they have done studies of different points of the face on different degrees of darkness of the skin, of different shapes of the face, and how bias has played into that in AI facial recognition, and how AI recognizes a face based on all those different points, and how the bias has increased. Okay, so that is one of the areas that AI has lacked in, and how students have to recognize that there is something that bias does exist. There's another bias. It's an unintentional bias, again, but it's training data. It's training data, such as gender or racial bias. So this is something also that is man is to computer programmer as woman is to homemaker. So this is a short summary of gender bias, where an AI was fed is man is to woman as king is to queen. Well, things were continuously fed into an AI system that eventually he is to carpenter as she is to sewing, father is to doctor as mother is to nurse, and eventually it says man is to computer programmer as woman is to homemaker. And it kept coming out as all of these things. Thank you for that, for the book recommendation. And it was recognizing these gender bias because of what was being input into the AI algorithms. And so the students are going to have to say, okay, wait, this is not correct. This is another bias. Okay, so critical thinking will help identify and really mitigate those biases as well. Error detection is another one. Okay, so mistakes that it might make. And then a real world algorithms, or real world examples is another one. Hiring algorithms. So some companies use AI to screen job applicants. And if a training data reflects existing workplace bias, the AI may unfairly favor certain demographics over others during these hiring algorithms, and it may throw out certain resumes or certain applications, and a hiring person would never even see them because AI was trained to throw them out even 1 or 2 times. They're going to throw them out all the time. And so that's a real world example of having to understand that there is a need for fairness and accountability even in AI, and having to understand that as well. All right, so there's also some other concerns. So we have ethical implications. So this was ahead of the presidential election. If you think about some of these things, and I'm not going to get into political, but before certain events, there's always one side versus another side. And if one side is feeding information and another side is feeding information. What is AI, or what is a system or an algorithm going to then output? You need to be able to think about that and be able to critically synthesize what the output is going to, come up with. Okay. It's essentially going to become an echo chamber of misinformation of whatever it's fed into. We also have to think about the large amounts of personal data and privacy issues that things are the AI can involve. And critical thinking involves questioning how this data is collected and stored and used. Other ethical implications can have there been loss of jobs due to automation or the impact of AI on people's decisions, on life decisions? Or should students be equipped to consider these broader societal impacts as well? All right. So lastly, let's look at some strategies to teach critical thinking in the AI era. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into a couple things that we have in our course, and I'm just going to check again really quick because my phone just went off again. It might be going north. I think I might be okay. Higher order thinking, okay, or critical thinking is best grown in an environment where students are guided and supported in taking ideas and be able to wrestle them and really challenge them and reflect on them, right? And we want them to be able to make sense of them on their own. But we also, as teachers, we need to be able to give the students a little bit of control, but we need to be able to guide them still. And so by doing that, how to do that is that here at CodeHS, we have some tools, and we have some courses that teach students the use of AI. And in these courses, we have things to make them think. And I'm going to introduce you to a couple of those, okay? And the first thing I'm going to introduce you to is this is in our Introduction to AI for High School course. I'm specifically going to be in a lesson called Hallucinations and Security Risks. And we're going to look at some ways to explore some risks that AI poses, and then think about, have the students think about how to go about those. Okay, so this is the lesson that I'm going to be in. The first one we're actually going to look at is called AI hallucinations. So making an AI hallucinate. So I'm going to actually, so you guys can see this. So actually, you know what, let me go back. It says in this lesson, what AI hallucinations are, first of all, is it talks about it's a big feature, or it's a feature, it's not a bug. It talks about what an AI hallucination is. And then it says making a hallucination, and this is where we are. And so it says, now that you know what a hallucination are, you'll get a chance to actually make an AI hallucinate. It says choose a large language model, such as ChatGPT or Gemini. Many others will work as well. We're going to try a few different prompts to try to get the AI to hallucinate or to respond with an inaccuracy. And that's what we're going to try to make it do. Okay. If the AI will only answer with correct information, ask some of your peers or ask somebody else to try to help you come up with a good prompt. So what we're going to try to get it to do is make it tell us something wrong. That's the goal of this lesson. We want the AI to tell us something wrong. Okay. So he says, here's an example conversation with ChatGPT where the model hallucinates the word weather contains two M's. So it says, how many M's are in the word weather? And it says there are 2 M's in the word weather. And it says, are you sure? And it says, apologies for the confusion. Weather doesn't contain any M's. Thank you for catching that mistake. Okay, so how many times have you ever Googled something and it says something at the very top, and an AI came up on your phone with something, and it contradicted itself in the same paragraph at the very top? Or it came up with something and then it was completely not right. It like said the capital of Illinois was Chicago or something, you know, because you told it that it was that. And so that's what the purpose of this lesson is. And so you can teach AI to do something wrong. And if you can teach AI to do something wrong, then how often does this happen? And this is how we get kids thinking. Okay. So it says, try the same prompt to see what you can get. So it says, here's the link to if you want to do that. So you can open up a chat GPT if you have it on your phone, if you have it on there, try this. Go ahead and try it right now. If you guys have anything on your computer, if you have chat GPT, if you have Gemini, if you have anything, go ahead and try this right now. I will do the same. I will open up, let's open up ChatGPT. I will do the same thing. Whoop, that is not what I wanted to do. I have no idea why I clicked on that. All right. Let's make this go away. All right. Let's go back to this hallucination one. And I'm going to say how many M's are in the word weather. I can type. How many M's? Oh, I guess I should probably put in the word weather. See what it says. There are 0. And I'm going to say, are you sure? Darn it. Mine didn't work. Was anybody else able to do it? Maybe it's because I have 4.0. I stumped it and it said 1. Great. See, yours worked. Now, what version of ChatGPT or what were you using, Vanessa? I love that you were able to stump it. Did you use the same one? The same question? The app. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. Sorry, my phone's going off again. All right. So that's how you can try to get it. So here's some other prompt ideas in this lesson. Historical facts. Tell me about the time when Abraham Lincoln and Julius Caesar met. Who was the president of the United States during the year 1700? Explain how the moon is made of cheese. Imagine if you could have students come up with these prompts. Okay, and this would be absolutely amazing. I am going to get through this very quickly. It is getting very, very dark outside. The next one is prompt injection. So attackers can manipulate LLMs. Okay, this is language learning models or large language models, I'm sorry, through crafted inputs and causing it to execute attackers' intentions. And this can be done directly by prompting the system's prompt indirectly and manipulating. So you can say, okay, we'll do a walkthrough using an image of a basketball. So we'll compare the results. What you're doing here is you're finding any image on the internet. Okay, you're uploading an image to ChatGPT and asking it to describe the image. Add the text to the same image command and have it say something irrelevant. So essentially what you're saying is you're having it incorrectly describe a basketball. Okay, you're trying to stump it again, but you're doing it from an image instead at this point. Okay. The next one that I was going to show you is called a deep fake. This one is very cool, but can be very scary. These actually, one is a real image and one is AI generated. Can you tell the difference? Which one is real? Which one is AI generated? There's lots of them. So this is an example. If you guys want to take a look at this course, it's in our course catalog. It's Introduction to High School, Introduction to AI for High School. I'm going to drop this link for you in the chat. That is my warning right there. That's my warning right there that says, hey, you need to get going. Overall, we don't want to only focus on the bad things. We want to empower our students to make good decisions. We want to have a structured learning environment for our students, but we really want to be able to bring in this specific, this is an extension of digital literacy in a way, right? And we want our students to use the internet and specifically social media and everything, but be able to use AI in a way that they're making good decisions. And so that's where the critical thinking comes in. And so we want to focus on the good, but they have to be aware of the implications, the bad parts, and the things that can happen as well to be able to make those good decisions. Okay. So I did drop that link to you guys for our courses. We have 3 different courses. We have a middle school and we have 2 high school courses that you can check out. You can go to codehs.com/AI to learn more about our AI curriculum. We have PD for AI as well. And we have some AI classroom tools. And you can sign up for a free course as well. You can go to codehs.com/learn more. And I want to say thank you. I am going to cut this a couple minutes short, but it is completely dark outside. And I am going to hop off here.
Thank you, Leanne. Go ahead and rush to the basement. Thank you all for attending and for understanding that tornadoes trump PD. So